Hi guys, Luna here, and welcome to a game called Our Life. Let's just get right into it, shall we? We're making our way through Cove's ending of the 4th act, just like we have with the other two guys of the story. So, arriving, you wove past tourists who were taking in the sights for the very first time. Being a local was a badge of honor you wore proudly. You casually walked past the shops. Over the years, some had closed down, but many of the stalls were still exactly the same as they were when you were little. Cove snapped his head as far as he could to one side, so dramatically you couldn't have missed it. Something clearly caught his eye, but you couldn't see
Please?
it. There's a pretzel stand up and say, "Can we get one?" When his gaze found you again, he wore the biggest smile. You chuckled. Yeah, we can. You fondly thought about retracting your previous thought. Cove is you now. You're gonna get the one that comes with the little frosting cup, aren't you? That's right. After that, you both happily made your way over, being pulled in fast by that delicious aroma of the stall. With that, you changed course to the pretzel stand for the snack break. Cove was very pleased by the morsel you picked up, and that was good to see. The sun arced across the sky as you went up and down the road as a pair. By the time you returned to the beach, the day was beginning to fade into the night. Cove kicked his shoes off, tossing them in the sand. He wanted to get his feet wet in the waves as fast as possible. You joined him. In the seconds, you had your feet free and your shoes abandoned in the sand. You kept going until you were ankle deep in the water. Cove sighed contentedly. You followed his line of sight to the setting sun, painting the sky with hues of orange and blue. It really feels like summer now. He wore a bent smile when he turned to you. The light illuminated like a halo behind him, and the sight took your breath away. In fact, it's hard to think of anything that feels more perfectly summery than moments exactly like this, being here in Sunset Bird with you. I'm so glad we were able to come visit. I do like our living situation now. We're just being neighbors, but still. Agreeing with Cove, you made an okay sign with your hands. You felt a heart flutter in your chest. Your smile quickly stretched ear to ear. Me too. The last rays of sunlight glittered over the water, memorizing you. You couldn't help but feel like this was exactly where both of you belonged right now. Cove murmured quietly, losing himself in his thoughts again. Shortly after, you saw his hand shoot down into the sands. You stood straight back up with a lopsided grin and got to work brushing the sand off his prize. You knew without a single word, Cove found a new shell for your collection. As you wandered down the beach, Cove followed at your side in comfortable silence. Your shadows stretched across the sand like they were leading the way. The only noise you could hear was the soft footfalls of your feet and the waves gently rocking across the shore. For a moment in time, it felt like there was only the two of you and you owned the world. Eventually, the bubble bopped when you realized your phone was going off. It was Ma, hoping that you were going to be back soon. Curious, Cove's eyes slid down at your phone. You let your hands fall back down to your side. You held the phone pressed against the palm of your hand. It's Ma. She wants to know when we'll be there. Cove scratched the back of his neck and shook his head. His mouth twitched like he just had a funny face. Dang, parents always trying to make us come back home before it gets too dark. There's no escape of curfew as long as we're in this neighborhood. It's like we walked back into being little kids the moment we set foot in the entrance sign. Cove's nose crinkled in fake disgust, and you both burst into a fit of giggles. It'd be nice not to have to worry about bills again. Sometimes. After one last glance, you put your phone away, gave Cove a small shrug. Ready? Yep, let's go. Together you left the beach, feeling the call of your home pulling you forward. The both of you ran towards your mom's house, leaving the waves behind, but welcoming the beginning of summer. Cove and you ran up the beach, sand flying from your steps. Cove made it to the road first, but you managed to catch up to him by the time you reached the house. It wasn't exactly a race, and yet it wasn't also not a competition. Both of you were laughing by the time you bumbled through your old front door together. You inhaled deeply and shouted loud enough to be heard anywhere in the house. We're here. Your moms are seated in the living room, their eyes sparkled as they locked on you and your eyes dusting of sand.
Hello.
Welcome home. Mom leaned forward, eyebrows raised at your jubilant entrance. Ma sighed wistfully.
Aww.
That brings back memories. Cove chuckled shyly as he scratched the back of his head. I hope we're not too late. Nope, you're just in time. Bet you better start packing it up. Liz will be waiting. Ma nodded as she stood up from her seat. She ran her fingers over her clothes to smooth out the wrinkles. It took you a second to remember where you had put your stuff. You needed to get it all to the car so you can get everything back to the hotel. Can I help? You shrugged and directed him to your bags. With Cove, your mom's, and yourself on the job, it only took one trip to get into the car to get everything. I still love that floral dress. Well, leafy dress. It's so pretty. Cove firmly closed the trunk and thanked everyone for their assistance. Of course, kiddo. Come along, Mayor family, let's get in the car. Come on, Cove, let's go. You've been part of the Mayor family for years. Thanks. Exactly. Well said, Luna. Cove climbed into the back seat with a decidedly touched expression on his face. He got on the other side. When everyone was situated, buckled, the engine was started, and Ma pulled out onto the street. You couldn't help but feeling amused to be stuck in the back seat with Cove. Your mom's driving you around. It was really like you were kids again. Cove caught you staring at him and gave a bent smile. He probably was on the same wavelength as you from the sheer mischief in it. There was some light chatting on the drive. No one brought up anything too deep, and it mostly just became swapping joking stories. The entire trip was marked by a heavy sense of anticipation. Everyone is ecstatic to see Liz and hear what she'd been up to. When you neared the airport, Mom pulled out her phone to call Liz. Ma followed the sign to the correct pickup area and asked for you to shout if you saw your sister. Yeah, Liz, we're at Wing B. There's a blue sign that says North America.
Alright.
Tell her we're right in front of the blue building with the blue windows. She says that she's outside waiting by a yellow truck. I see at least 3 yellow trucks. I think they're doing work at the airport. The back and forth continued with Ma driving around the wider circular airport road while Mom attempted to coordinate between her and Liz's location. Aha! You leaned forward, peering at the front of the car. A tall, poised silhouette pulled a pale purple roll suitcase behind her. It's definitely Liz. She waved to the car. Mom plucked along the sidewalk next to her, and Mom pulled her phone away with a chair. Mission accomplished, team. Ma accidentally reached over to grasp Mom's right hand, thrilled that both of her kids were
Good job.
Good job, that's right. Liz came close and yanked the back door open beside her. She popped her head into the car, her smile ornately despite how tired she appeared. It must have been a long trip for her, yet her expression was the same familiar smirk that you had grown up with.
Hey.
Hey, children. I'm back. Missed you. I would hope. You reached over and hugged her. You quickly unbuckled and launched yourself at your sister. She wrapped her arms around you and squeezed. Well, hi to you too, kiddo. Oh, sweetie, so nice that you're here. Hello, Elizabeth. You jokingly huffed at her. We're not children. Whatever you say, baby boy. She then turned her gaze back to Mom and Ma. You really know how to make someone feel appreciated. Her spirits were high. You could tell she was just as happy to be here as everyone else was to see her. That's definitely nice. She left the door open but ducked out to walk around to the back of the car. She opened the trunk and lifted luggage in. Gotta move your junk, Luna. I'll just keep it in front of my bag so you can get it later. Ma's dropping you out first, right? Yes, but that's not junk. It's important. Liz slammed the trunk closed without responding. Liz swung round to the open door. We noticed that her hair had a few flyaways, no doubt from the long day of traveling. She leaned against the frame of the car, giving you and Cove a significant look. I'm not sitting in the middle. I've already had 5 hours of that nightmare on the flight. There's no way I'm getting in between the two of you. I mean, really, who would ever want to be the person pulling Cove, Holden, and Luna backwards? Cove popped off indigenously yet again at her classic tease of your relationship. Liz continued along like she did.
So?
I don't care how you decide you're scooting. I figure you can fight it out somehow. Cove glanced over at you and shrugged. He unbuckled his seatbelt and moved to the middle. I'm sorry you're always in the middle, Cove. Some people just must get that way. It's okay, growing up it was normally me and Liz putting you in the middle of things. True memories. With the window seat open, Liz squished herself in the car and shut the door. When everyone was settled, Ma began to pull out.
Let's go!
We're off. Liz crossed her legs, compacting herself slightly. She braced most of her weight on the door behind her instead of sitting up straight. It gave her a little more. Hopefully we finish the journey. The car is almost as old as we are.
Now.
And it's still just as good as you are. Or equivalent to this, Joker. You put as much fake hurt into your tone as you can manage. Neither of your moms took you up on your teasing. I feel insulted being compared to this rust bucket. This doesn't even have enough cup holders, Ma. Ma turned up the radio as Ma emerged into the highway. The station was familiar, the normal soundtrack from when she had driven you and Liz around town. Liz bounced in your seat, enjoying the classic tune. The song would be old enough to vote at this point if it was a person. That was hard to believe. With Liz, the conversation livened up despite it getting later and later into the night. She told you all about her week and all her travel preparations she made. By the time she made it to the actual day of the travel itself, Liz started chuckling. On the plane, Liz had sat next to a couple of girls who talked a lot about how well they could read people. Liz recounted their conversation with her in hilarious detail as they had apparently tried to guess her occupation only after shaking her hands. Neither of the girls could agree with one another, and Liz had to refuse to just tell them. However, the drive to your hotel was only so long. Eventually, a group arrived. You yawned and got out of the car when it stopped. Stretch. Cove clambered out with Liz gave you a loud sigh of relief on all the extra space she found herself with. You and Cove grabbed the luggage and then waved off your family after you said their goodbyes. After they had left, you and Cove went to go find your room. You scanned the key card to unlock your hotel room. Sounded off a soft beep and you turned to handle the door. The door creaked open and then craned your head in to take a look. You saw 2 coin-side beds on the opposite side of the room, further separated by a sleek nightstand. It was a pretty modern-looking space. It seemed clean and smelled faintly like a floral air freshener. Can I have the one near the window? You just want to be close to the exit, don't you? Cove cackled at your joke. You got it. Might have to make an extra escape through there in the middle of the night. Fine, it's yours. Thanks. I prefer the one by the door anyways. Got a good hotel tonight. Thanks for handling this. No problem. He beamed, glad to have your appreciation. You and Cove continued to chat as you settled in. You unpacked some of your stuff and checked out all the room's amenities. Cove pointed out the mini fridge and started puzzling over what food could be ordered to the room. However, the fact was, you were both exhausted. It didn't take too many yawns before you both changed into pajamas. Called it a day. You found the light switch near the door. The plastic was cool under your fingertip as you flicked it off. Cove crawled under his covers. From the lingering light, you can make out him shoving the bread spread off to the side and only keeping the sheet on top of him. Carefully made your way to your own bed in the dark and made yourself comfortable. But you had to really use some elbow grease on the tightly tucked sheets to make the bed enough to get under them. Eventually, you were as snug as a bug under a right sheet that smelled faintly of fresh laundry. You rolled to face Cove, and he did the same. The 2 of you regarded each other in the low lights. His smile was bashful and his eyes lingered over you, slowly taking you in. His happiness was sweet and soft. You smiled back. It was nice having Cove here with you. Good night, Luna. Hey, so do you know why the pigeons are called doves? Pigeons are called pigeons when they're actually doves. Cove blinked at your random tangent. You yawned and continued talking. Your sleepy brain having to input up. Pigeons actually refer to a young cheeping bird, not a species like it does now. Cove nodded along as you continued, seeming interested despite the random topic. By the time you had finished, he had propped himself up with pillows, utterly content. Cove began to speak again. It was loud enough to hear, but quiet enough that you leaned forward on your mattress to make out. I can't believe we're actually here. You and Liz and everyone else are gonna be here in Sunset Bird again. I was staring at all the scenery going by while we were driving here, and it honestly feels like we never left. I made a hand on his face. I mean, in some ways it feels like it's been ages and everything's different, but in some of that it's definitely because I'm staying in a hotel instead of being in my room at Dad's, but yeah. You can even put your I don't even know how I feel. Cove nodded, he understood completely. I'm looking. A yawn forced an interruption to the statement. Cove was unhurried. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, I can't wait.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. His words were whispered and barely heard. It might not have even been that exactly. He might have just been guessing. Cove always had a habit of mumbling. It was okay either way, whether you heard it or only thought you heard. The sentiment was true regardless. Cove would see you tomorrow when he opened his eyes and the sunlight returned to your hometown of Sunset Bird. You comfortably drifted off to sleep and eagerly awaited seeing Cove tomorrow as well. It was already morning the next time you opened your eyes. Despite waking up in an unfamiliar bed, you were feeling good. Your eyebrows pushed together in confusion when you sat up. The blanket pulled in your lap, and suddenly the sound of water startled you. Yawning, you turned toward Cove's bed, and he wasn't there. Glancing in the other direction, you spotted him brushing his teeth in the bathroom. You caught your shuffling out of the corner of his eye. Cove smirked with the toothbrush still in between his teeth. He pivoted on his heels and gave you a little wave before kneeling to lean back over the sink to spit. Happy, you stretched your arms over your head and then twisted the knot out of your back before getting out of bed. Cove finished up brushing quickly and leaned over the faucet to rinse his mouth out. By the time you had the feet on your floor, he was back in the main area of the hotel room. He took a seat at the foot of his bed. Morning, Luna. Morning, having good dreams. His lips curled into a bent smile.
Yeah.
Yep, not a single bad one. Standing up, Cove took a few seconds to stretch. He glanced over at you with an animated expression. I'm really looking forward to your mom's anniversary dinner tonight. It's gonna be fun. I think so.
I mean...
This whole trip's great, actually. Being here with everybody is like having another chance of being a kid. You can do all the stuff we used to do and all the things we never did but wanted to. Yeah, the words are Oyster Cove. Jumping onto the bed, you stood up in the power stance in the center. We ran the course of our lives. We're in control of our destinies. Exactly. Well, we better get back into it, huh? We got a pretty full schedule ahead of us for your mom's big day. He smirks. So much for being a kid, so many responsibilities. I don't think seeing our friends really counts as responsibilities, Luna. Fine, you got me there. After that, you and Cove moved around each other, busily getting dressed and ready for the day. Light laughter and chatter filled the air the entire time. Bags were packed, and phones were sought after. You handed Cove his phone when he hadn't been able to find it. Thank you. He plucked the phone from your hand and slid into his pocket. You shook it to keep your giggles in, and Cove raised a questioning brow. What is it? I watched you go past it probably 5 times.
Seriously?
Are you serious? Groaning, he resumed what he was doing before the phone crisis. When Cove's back was turned, you double-checked that you haven't missed your phone either. You hadn't. There was nothing else stopping either of you now. In minutes, you were hopping into your ride and heading back into your neighborhood. It was another beautiful summer day in Sunset Bird. You couldn't resist rolling the window down so you could absorb it all during the drive. Cove sat across the seat from your near opposite window. His gaze was locked outside, catching all the old landmarks the vehicles was passing. His spirit rose higher, even higher, the moment you made it home once more. Eager, you hopped out of the car and let yourself inside. Your moms knew you were going to be there that morning. But the second you made it past the threshold, an exciting scream nearly scared you out of your shoes. Hi! Luna, you're here! And guess what? I'm here. Oh, I love that outfit. I love the haircut too. That is so cute. I love that design. And her hair looks so poofy. It's just so nice. While your heart rate settled, a broad grin quickly took over your whole face. Since your cousin moved out on her own, you noticed that she really found her own groove. She was still the same loving person she's always been on the inside, but she expressed herself in new ways. Lee was strong, kind, and smart, and over the past few years she graduated college with a degree in history. Though last you heard she was pursuing her dreams, working toward getting into the music industry. You look great. Thanks. She beamed, putting her hands on her hips. Lee gave you a once-over. I'm not the only one. True, it must be a family trait. Winking, he threw up a high five. Lee surged forward and slapped your hands. Lee leaned to the side to glance past you and meet Cove's eyes. The grin on her face invited the while she waved. Hi, Cove. Hi, nice to see you, Lee. I got him practically at dawn. It was a whole thing, but at least I made it here alive. Lee exhaled and slumbered her shoulders to emphasize how exhausting the toilet was. Behind her, Liz made her way over. She crossed her arms at the scene. I'm here too, in case you're wondering. I'm always wondering if you're there somewhere. Ooh, Liz's lip twitched before turning into a smug smile. She brushed the stray hair out of her face.
Hey!
You make it sound like I'm always following you around. I have a life of my own if you weren't aware. I know, but when I'm home, I'm always keeping an eye out for my big sister. Old habits. How sweet. I miss the days of checking to see if someone else made it to the TV first, too. He laughed. Of course that's where her mind would go. Another friendly shout rang out in the living room. It was as cheery as ever from the many times you heard it over the years. Good morning, family. Your parents both came out of their side hall together. Morning.
Well?
Now that we have everyone here, I do have a little something to mention. Ma put her hand lovingly over her wife's. Mom leaned over her head with Ma's matching affection. We're still having dinner together, but Pam here actually plans to take me out to brunch to celebrate our anniversary, just the two of us. Please, she hooked an arm around Ma's waist.
Sorry
to push you all out, but I'm sure the group of mature grown-ups will be able to entertain themselves for an afternoon. You don't need to find a babysitter or anything.
Totally.
Yeah, have fun, moms. Don't worry about it. Understood. We'll tell you all about our shenanigans at dinner. This works out, actually. An afternoon open means there's more time to meet up with Tara and Randy. Hopefully they're free today. Your two school friends still lived in the area. They knew you were coming for your mom's party, but when or how you might arrange to see each other wasn't sense.
Sounds good.
Definitely, we should call them.
All right.
I have some people I'd like to say hello to as well. Liz set her cell phone in hand, ready to get her plans made before she was even done speaking. Arcing an eyebrow, she then directed the next bar at Lee. Would you want to come along? You missed out on a lot of cousins' bonding time in the past.
Yeah!
I'd love to. It'd be an honor to hang out with you, Liz. No, fair. Lee's meant to go with me. I didn't hear you ask her. Deflating. Your sister was right. She beat you to that. It's okay there, Il. You knew that they would have a fun day, and they deserve some time together. Bring it back in one piece. We have plans tonight. I will. Excellent. It's settled. She squeezed her wife's hand. Her gaze took in the whole room, ecstatic to have the house full again. Today is going to be perfect.
Yes.
I think so too. My children couldn't be happier with my wife, my children, and our whole beautiful family. It's already a wonderful anniversary. There was alls and sweet comments from the group gathered around the couple of hours. Seeing as how your moms were, you couldn't help but hope that when you got to be their age, that you could be as proud of your life as them. After that, you enthusiastically began to setting up your plans to meet up with your friends. They're both able to come see you, having kept their schedules free for this, and you couldn't wait. Cove was also speedily sending text messages, since you conveyed the plan to Terry and Randy. You imagined he was letting his parents know about what he was going to be up to. The group continued to chat and catch up until it was time for your mom's brunch and your big meet-up with your friends. Soon enough, everyone is out the door looking forward to their fun-filled adventure afternoons and the dinner later that night. Once outside on the neighborhood streets, you looked at Cove. He stood at your side with a big smile. Terry and Randy were driving into town while you and Cove were traveling on foot to meet them with an easier-to-reach spot. Man, we were really kids in Sunset Bird again, having to rely on other people who actually have cars to get anywhere. Now we're stuck walking to whatever's nearby. No, we're reverting back to infancy. A snort was followed by true laughter from Cove, and teasingly you pouted. This isn't funny, Cove. I don't want to be a baby again. I didn't realize we were ingressing that seriously. He shrugged, then struck his hands into his pocket. The thought of being little again made you shiver. I can't go back to that. I like being me current.
Me too.
I like current you too. Let's go. You bounced forward several stops and shot Cove a playful look over your shoulder. With that, the two of you began your trip down the old road. It was a casual stroll into town. Before you knew it, you were at one of the large parking lots in Sunset Bird. It was completely empty. Cove pulled out his phone, texting Terry and Randy in the group chat to let them know you made it. Someone must have answered already because Cove gave you a sass update while staring at the screen. Randy texted, I can see you. Oh, the blare of a car horn cut you off. You and Cove both turned toward the sounds of the noise. One of the windows rolled
Hey,
down.
buddies!
Your friends had arrived, making a spectacle of it, as expected. Being the only car meant they got the pick of the lot, so they pulled a stop in front of you. The window closed back up, and instead the two front doors popped open. Terry and Miranda stepped out on the pavements. Hi, Cove. I love that shirt on her. It looks adorable. With a cheery wave, Miranda skipped towards you. Terry, on the other hand, walked quickly over to Cove, speaking him to a hug. A quiet laugh escaped Cove, along with the majority of the air in his lungs. He didn't fight the constriction, but instead gave Terry's back a pat with a large grin spreading across his face. When he let Cove go, Terry came right up to you. He had his fist up for you to bump it. You smacked his fist with a high five to make a turkey. Your shoulders gradually began to shake harder while your lips twisted teasingly. Confused, Terry's eyebrows pitched together like he was trying to solve a puzzle. Gobble gobble. You wiggled your fingers, thinking of them as long as colorful tail feathers. Terry started the moment the image clicked in his brain. Gobble gobble. It felt so nice to have your friend group reunited as adults. Terry is currently a full-time lifeguard down at the busier beach at town over. You're proud of him. He helped out a lot of people in his line of work. And in recent years, you and Terry were able to form an even closer bond. It was reassuring to have a friend who knew what it was like going through a changing part of their identity. You could go to him for understanding, and you knew Terry felt the same about you. Miranda took Cove's hand and squeezed one of yours in the other. Her eyes alight as she gave you both a gentle squeeze.
So great.
So happy to see you guys again. Hi, Terry. Hi, Miranda. He answered assuredly. It was clear that he was equally glad to see them. They reunited, long awaited. For a while, Miranda had been working hard as an assistant at school while continuing her own education. She also been busy running a small online shop, selling crafted knickknacks she made. It's been forever. I know. I shouldn't let either of you go. Don't just want to stick around here forever. Randy, we can't stay like this forever. How will you create art with both your hands in use? Okay, I'll give you your hands back. Miranda released your hands. Giggling, she eyed you both carefully. So, how have you been?
It's nice.
It's been nice. I've been doing well.
That's cool.
Really glad. Miranda put her hands behind her back sweetly, leaning forward just a smidge. Of course, everybody knew you'd be a success. What about you? I'm super. Terry selling up to Miranda and put his arm around her shoulder, sighing dreamily. Randy chuckled up at her boyfriend. Yeah, things have been unbelievable. He pressed his cheeks against Miranda, and then she let out a light squeak. The sight put an amused grin on your face. Your friends made a wonderful couple. They knew each other well and cared each other very much. It was no shock at all when you heard the news they'd been started dating. Observing them, you thought that the way Terry asked Miranda out, The relation seemed obvious now, but in the moment it took a lot of guts for him to take that step. A small sigh escaped you as you thought about your own romantic status, and naturally your eyes moved toward Cove. Your stare locked eyes with his. An embarrassing blush warmed your skin. You weren't expecting him to be watching too. He glanced elsewhere after being caught. Cove then pulled his phone out and peeked at the screen. He then repeated the motion every so often. You raised an curious eyebrow at his unusual behavior. Cove was too focused on whatever he was doing to even notice you noticing him, which is even strange.
So...
is there anything either of you want to do while we're here? Any place you want to see? I'm up to do a lot of things, but actually there's something that I want to do right here. Oh yeah, what's that? Terry poked at Cove's arms playfully. Miranda met your eye, silently asking if you had any idea what Cove was talking about. You shrugged. I want to see my friends. Huh? Cove, you're already doing that.
Well...
Shoot, but I could be doing it even more. You, Terry, and Miranda all turned to Cove with identical incredulous expressions. His stares moved to pass you through, and you heard the scrape of sand and gravel underfoot. Someone else moved in the parking lot. Startled, he jumped at the call of a warm voice shouting over.
Sup, guys, gals, and pals?
Derek! Running a hand through his hair, the person who crossed the lot was unmistakably Derek Cesare. He was beaming the whole way. It's been too long, even though it actually hasn't been that long. That is actually technically true, but long enough. Ran over and hugged him. He was comfortably and solid, and he was also big enough that it was hard to fit him in your arms. You could feel the rumble of his laughter against your cheek, and Derek held you in your arms.
I missed you.
I missed you too, buddy. He spoke to you gently. You were just as thrilled of being there, reunited with him. Derek was a good friend of yours, and he'd been for a long time. Hey. He waved over at Terry and Miranda pleasantly. Over the years, they all had met several times in passing, simply through being friends with the same people. Sup, big man? Hi, it's great you could come. Cove put himself next to Derek. Happy, he clasped a hand on his friend's shoulder. Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
Of course, thanks for inviting me. Sheepishly, Cove looked back at you and the others. That was when it clicked in their mind. It wasn't his parents that was texting earlier, it was Derek the entire time. Derek's in town for a few months to help my dad and his dad with some work. Yep, I'm working on my own business thing too, but I'm still involved with running the scuba shop when it's called for.
Very nifty.
Humming, Derek elbowed Cove.
So?
But hey, we don't have to stand around here for my sake. What's the plan? Let's hit the town. Eager to get going, everyone piled into Terry's car. The rest of the afternoon was spent visiting shops all over Sunset Bird, laughing and reminiscing the whole way. Once it was starting to get late, Terry brought you and Cove back to the neighborhood. You didn't have to walk there after all. You didn't get out until promises were made to see each other again before your trip ended. Side by side, you and Cove stood in the street and waved at the car as it drove away. Terry tapped the horn for 2 honks while Miranda stuck her hand out of the window to wave back. You caught Derek in the back window, giving you both a wide grin. Sighing, as soon as the car turned down another street, they were finally out of sight. Oh, that was one party. Time for another. Ready to go see your moms? Of course. It's far too early to hop off the party train. Choo-choo. Cove raised his eyebrows before letting out a hearty laugh. He nodded in the direction
Come
of
on.
House. Lead the way, conductor. Choo-choo. I can predict this writing sometimes. Spirits are high, you and Cove crossed the destination to your house. It was almost time for your late anniversary dinner. And with that, I think this is a perfect place to end this episode here. I hope you guys have a good day, night, week, month of your lives, and may the stars forever guide your path wherever it might lead you into the future. Hope to see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.